Hey guys, Blake here with another video. I was just making some spawning mops to get some things happening, and I figured why not make a video on the process. So if you're not familiar, it's a really cool way to breed a lot of fish. Let's jump straight into the video. So spawning mops can be really handy to have in your fish room. First of all, it's a really great way to breed fish and pull out the eggs without any hassle. And second of all, it can create a great cover for fish that may not use it to actually spawn in. For example, live bearers. I know for my own sake, if I have a fair few spawning mops hanging in a tank, it provides really great cover and your likelihood of fry surviving goes way up. But obviously the most common use is to breed things like rainbowfish and ricefish and other fish that are prone to leaving or depositing eggs on plant matter. Essentially the concept is that we are replicating dense roots or floating plants from the wild, and to do that we're going to use acrylic yarn. I prefer to use acrylic yarn over wool or any other type of yarn, mainly because it doesn't decompose and really create a strong smell, which is less than ideal, as you can probably imagine. So what I've got is a few rolls here of acrylic yarn. I've got a few different colors. Best success and the most commonly used one is dark green. I've already got it set up. So this is the typical color you'll find spawning mops to be, but I like to just mix it up and put a few different colors through. So just greeny, camo-y sort of colors I find. I don't know if it really makes a difference, but you know, I just decide to do that because I like to live a bit differently, you know. So I'll teach you a little hack now of how to put yarn so that it doesn't roll all over your table. So this is my little filming setup here. It's just sitting on a bucket to get it the right height. But what I do is basically sit the ball of yarn in there, and that means that it's going to tumble around inside the container, and it'll just make things a lot easier in the long run. Okay, so you might want to get yourself a bit of a template. I'm lucky in that my forearm seems to be a good length that I like to make these spawning mops. So what I'm just going to basically do is take a piece of the acrylic yarn and wrap it around the elbow like so. There's not an earthquake in your area, don't panic. It's just the camera jostling around. So I'm going to do this with the three colors. You don't need to sort of get dizzy sitting there rocking back and forth. So there's no hard and fast rule about how much you should use or how long it should be, but just in my experience I've found a lot more success when the spawning mop's quite dense and long. Sometimes I've made shorter ones and thinner ones when it really happens when I'm running low on the acrylic yarn. But so for that reason I've got maybe 25 goes around here. So then we just take our little scissors and cut each section off. So it's important now to keep a finger on the loop so that you can know that you've got the full amount here, and just grab one of the loose strands here, and we're going to loop it through a few times just to tie a knot in it. Make sure that it's not going to go everywhere. I'm no Boy Scout, as you can probably figure out, but I'll just do my best. I just do a fair few of those knots that I can't remember what they're called. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut a small piece off and just tie it so that it's tight around the pieces grabbed at the top. The reason for this is just so that over time strands don't get pulled out. I just find it makes it a bit more secure. So now that we've got basically it tied together at the top, we're just going to take some scissors and cut the bottom so that the strands are able to dangle freely. This is a great activity to do in those times where you might have some pressure to stop spending so much time out in the fish room. You can just set this gear up on your kitchen table and you're still getting your projects done. So I may be guilty of doing that once or twice. So now we've basically got the mop. If you are that way inclined, you can just hang it in your tank like this, but I like to let mine sort of float around and seem a bit more natural that way. Now there's a lot of options you can choose for allowing the mop to be buoyant. I have in the past purchased some corks, which you can see here. So as you can see here, this one's using a little cork, which you can buy I think from hobby and craft stores fairly cheaply. But nowadays I like to do it the cheap way, and I've always got plenty of this styrofoam hanging around the fish room, mostly from deliveries that magically arrived on my doorstep. But I'll just break off a piece. It's better if you can, but it's not a big deal to just sort of make it a bit rectangular, or even have it thinner in the middle and wider on the edges. And then it's just a simple matter of just tying the knot around the styrofoam. So there we have it, a quick and easy little spawning mop, so that all of our fishies can either go in there for protection or go in there to lay their eggs. And then it's just a simple case of pulling them out, checking through for any eggs, and then plopping them wherever we like. So I hope you enjoyed this video, found it insightful. If you did, please like, subscribe and all that fun stuff, and I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.